I took the babysitting job because I needed money and because it sounded easy. Just one child, quiet house, rich neighborhood. Overnight shift, watch movies, make sure the kid sleeps, get paid. That was it. The house was on the edge of town, far from busy roads, surrounded by tall trees and empty land. The kind of place where phone signal disappears and streetlights feel too far away. The parents met me at the door around 7 p.m. Both of them dressed like they were late for something important. The father kept checking his watch. The mother kept fixing her hair in the mirror near the entrance. They introduced their son, Liam. He was 8 years old. Small for his age, pale skin, big eyes, quiet, too quiet. He stood behind his mother's leg and stared at me like he was trying to memorize my face. The mother smiled and said, "He is shy. He will warm up later." I smiled back and nodded. Before leaving, they gave me instructions. Snacks in the kitchen. Bedtime at 9:30. No television after 10. Doors always locked. Do not open for anyone. Even if someone says they know us. That last part felt strange. I laughed lightly and said, "Sure, I understand." The father looked at me seriously and said, "No, really, do not open the door for anyone. Not even police. Call us first." I felt uncomfortable, but nodded again. Then they left their car, disappeared down the long road, and suddenly I was alone in that massive house with a silent child and shadows stretching. Across every wall, Liam sat on the couch hugging a pillow. I asked him, "Do you want to watch cartoons?" He nodded slowly. We watched cartoons for about an hour. He barely laughed, barely spoke, just watched, eyes fixed on the screen. Around 8:30, I went to the kitchen to make him a sandwich while spreading peanut butter. I heard something upstairs, a soft thump like someone walking. I froze. Then I remembered. Old houses make noise. Wood expands. Pipes move. Nothing scary. I went back to the living room. Liam was staring at the staircase. I asked, "What are you looking at?" He whispered, "He is walking again." My heart skipped. Who is walking? I asked. He looked at me slowly and said, "The man in the hallway." I laughed nervously and said, "There is no man. It is just house noise." He shook his head. "He walks every night." I felt cold. I changed the topic and told him it was almost bedtime. He didn't argue. At 9:30, I tucked him into bed. His room was at the end of a long hallway upstairs. The hallway felt darker than it should. Even with lights on, shadows gathered in corners, like they were alive. I sat beside his bed and read him a story. Halfway through, he grabbed my hand. "Do not leave me alone," he whispered. I smiled and said, "I will be downstairs. I am not going far." He looked scared. He said, "He comes when nobody watches." That sentence stayed in my head after he fell asleep. I went downstairs. I locked all doors and windows. Like they told me then, I sat on the couch with my phone. Around 11, I heard it again. Footsteps upstairs, slow, careful step, pause, step, pause. I held my breath. It sounded like someone trying not to be heard. I stood up and called softly, "Liam." No answer. The footsteps continued. My heart was pounding. I grabbed my phone and slowly walked toward the stairs. Each step creaked under my feet. Sound stopped when I reached the hallway. Everything was silent. All doors closed. I checked Liam's room. He was asleep, breathing normally. I whispered his name. No reaction. I went back downstairs, telling myself I was imagining things. At 12:30, my phone vibrated. Unknown number. I hesitated, then answered. Hello. Silence. Then breathing slow, deep breathing. I said, "Who is this?" The line stayed quiet. Then a whisper. "Do not look upstairs." My blood turned cold. I said, "Who are you?" The call ended. I stared at my phone, hands shaking. I tried calling the parents. No answer again. No answer. I locked myself in the living room and sat there. Lights on, television on, everything loud to drown my thoughts. At 1 a.m., the television turned off by itself. The lights flickered, then went out. House fell into darkness. My phone flashlight was the only light. Then I heard it footsteps not upstairs, behind the hallway leading to the kitchen, slow dragging like someone injured. I whispered, "Who is there?" No answer. Just breathing closer now, I backed toward the stairs without thinking. My foot hit something, a toy. I almost screamed. The breathing stopped. Then my voice perfectly copied, "Hello." "Who is there?" I froze. It was my voice coming from the darkness. Then I heard Liam scream. Upstairs I ran without thinking, up the stairs, heart exploding in my chest. I reached his room and pushed the door open. He was sitting on his bed, crying, pointing at the closet. He is inside. I grabbed him and pulled him close. Closet door began to move slowly, creaking open, and something inside whispered, "You were not supposed to see me." Yet he stood frozen, holding Liam in my arms, staring at the opening closet door. My body refused to move. My brain refused to understand what was happening. The door opened wider. Darkness spilled out like smoke, thick, heavy, unnatural. Then I saw Ida, shape too tall to fit in the closet, properly bent, twisted, like broken bones forced together. Its face was pale, stretched, eyes too big, mouth too wide. It smiled, and it looked exactly like me, saying, "Hair same, eyes same, face, just wrong," like a reflection in broken glass. Liam screamed louder. I turned and ran down the hallway, down the stairs into the living room. The thing followed, not running, walking slow, confident, like it knew I could not escape. The house lights flickered on suddenly. Every room lit up at once, too bright, painful. I ran to the front door, locked. My hands shook 'cause I unlocked it behind me. I heard my own voice, "Please stop. You will wake the child," I screamed, and pulled the door open. Nothing outside was, not the street, not the road, not the yard. It was darkness, endless, empty, like space without stars. I slammed the door shut. I fell to the floor, crying. Liam clung to me. "Why does it want us?" he sobbed. I looked at him. "What do you mean?" He wiped his tears. "It lives here," he whispered. "It wears people. First mommy, then daddy, then you." My heart shattered. "What happened to your parents?" He hesitated. "They went to sleep," he said. "Then they changed. They smiled too much, talked too slow, forgot my name. Then one night, they walked into the closet and never came back." My stomach twisted. The phone rang, the house phone on the wall. Ring. I answered without thinking. "Hello." My own voice answered. "We are waiting for you." Thing walked into the living room, standing tall now, no longer bent, perfect copy. It held out its hand. "Come back inside," it said gently. "This is your home now." I shook my head no. It smiled wider. "Then you will stay here forever." The walls began to change, melting, turning into dark mirrors. Every reflection showed me slowly turning into it. Liam screamed. I remembered the parents' words, "Do not open the door for anyone, not even police. Call us." First they knew they were trying to warn me. Grabbed my phone and dialed emergency. No signal. Then I remembered the unknown call, the voice. "Do not look upstairs." It was trying to help. I ran to the stairs again. The thing screamed no, but I kept running upstairs to the closet. Darkness was still there, breathing alive. Pushed Liam behind me and stepped forward. I shouted, "You cannot have us." The darkness pulled me, tried to tear my thoughts apart, showed me memories that were not mine. Other babysitters, other parents, other children, all trapped, tall, erased. I screamed and pushed back with everything I had. The closet began to shake, crack, split. Light burst out, blinding. Wide I felt myself falling. Then silence. I woke up in a hospital bed, bright room, beeping machines. Liam asleep beside me, holding my hand. A nurse noticed I was awake. Smiled. "You are lucky," she said. Neighbors heard screaming and called us. The house collapsed from a gas leak. They said I laughed weakly. "Gas leak, sure." Liam looked at me. He whispered, "It is gone now, right?" I nodded, but sometimes late at night when my phone rings from unknown numbers and I hear my own. Breathing, I know it is still looking for another. Home, another face, another life, another babysitter. I took the babysitting job because I needed money. Not extra money, survival money. Rent was due, phone bill was pending, and my bank balance was almost zero. The ad was simple: overnight babysitter needed. One child, private home, good pay, no experience. Required. I messaged immediately. They replied within seconds. Address, time, payment, everything confirmed. That should have been my first warning. When I reached the house, it was already dark. Street lights were on, but their light felt weak, like something was absorbing it. The house was at the end of the street, no neighbors. Close, no sound, no dogs, no traffic, just silence. The building looked old, but well maintained. White walls, black roof, big windows, no curtains. Every window was dark like eyes that refused to blink. The door opened. Before I knocked, a woman stood there. Thin, pale, hair tied tightly, eyes tired. You are on time, she said. Her voice sounded rehearsed. Behind her stood a man, tall, silent, watching me too closely. Their son, Noah, stood beside the stairs. He was maybe 8 years old, too quiet, too still, holding a toy car. No playing, just gripping it. The woman said, "Bed at 9, food in the fridge, emergency numbers on the table. And one rule: never let him look into mirrors." I laughed nervously. Mirrors? Why? She stared at me for a long moment, then said, "You will understand later." They left quickly. No hugs, no goodbye, no comfort, just gone. Door closed, locked automatically. Click. I was alone with Noah. I tried to be friendly. "Do you want to play something?" He shook his head. "Do you want to watch TV?" He shook his head. Then he said quietly, "It watches back." My stomach tightened. "What watches?" He pointed at the blank. "TV." I changed the topic. We ate dinner. He barely touched his food. At 8:30, I noticed something strange. There were no mirrors, none. Not in bathroom, not in hallway, not in bedrooms, not even small ones. Every reflective surface was covered, painted, or removed except one in the basement door, a narrow strip of reflective glass. I avoided it. At 9, I took Noah to bed. His room was simple: bed, desk lamp, no posters, no toys, no mirror. Before sleeping, he asked if I talk at night. "Do not answer." Why? "Because it learns voices." I smiled weakly. "Okay." At 10, I sat in the living room scrolling. Phono signal Wi-Fi, disconnected battery, draining fast. And I heard something, a soft scratching from inside the walls, like nails on glass. I stood up, walked slowly. It followed everywhere, then stopped near the basement door. I stared at the reflective strip. My own face looked wrong, delayed, like it moved. After May stepped back, my reflection smiled. I did note. He ran upstairs, heart pounding. At 11, Noah screamed. I rushed. He was standing near his desk, staring at nothing. He whispered it. "Saw you." I grabbed Noah and pulled him to the bed. "What saw me?" I asked. He hugged me tightly. "The one behind you." I turned around. Nothing. Empty room, window closed, door locked. I felt watched all night. We stayed in the living room, lights on, no shadows. At midnight, the scratching returned, louder, closer, from inside the walls, from ceiling, from floor, like something crawling, searching. Then a voice, my voice, from the bathroom, calling, "Come here." I froze. Noah covered his ears. "Do not listen." He whispered it. "Steel sounds." I did not move. The voice repeated, "Come here. Come see." Then laughter, mine perfect copy. I felt sick. Basement door opened slowly. Without sound, cold air poured out. The reflective strip glowed faintly. I could see something inside, a room full of mirrors, hundreds, thousands, all facing each other, endless reflections. And in every reflection, me smiling. Except one. That one was crying. It stepped forward out of the mirror, a version of me, same face, same clothes, same voice. It said, "You are in my place. Now I will stay." Noah screamed. "No, you are wrong. She does not belong here." The thing looked at him. Children see too much. It reached for me, cold fingers like ice. I grabbed the nearest object, a Lamp end smashed, the reflective strip glass exploded, the mirrors inside shattered, a scream filled the house. Human, not animal, something breaking reality, tearing walls, cracked lights, burst wind. Howled inside, the fake me melted like shadow in sunlight, the basement collapsed. Everything went silent, police came later. Parents were never found, house was sealed, declared unsafe. Noah went to relatives, I quit babysitting forever. But sometimes when I look at mirrors, I see someone else blink first after that night. I told myself it was over, the house was destroyed, the mirrors were gone, the thing was gone, and Noah was safe. That should have been the end. But horror never ends when you survive it. It only changes address. For weeks, I could not sleep properly. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw reflections, endless reflections. Versions of me watching from inside glass, smiling when I was scared, crying when I was calm. I stopped looking at mirrors, covered the bathroom one, turned my wardrobe mirror toward the wall, used my phone camera instead. But even then, sometimes the screen would delay, just for half a second, enough to make my heart race. I moved to a new apartment, different area, different building, more people, more noise. I thought noise meant safety. I was wrong. 3 months later, I took another babysitting job, different family, different city, different house. I told myself I was stronger now, more careful, more alert. This house was modern, glass walls, white floors, bright lights too. Many mirrors everywhere, bathroom, hallway, living room, bedroom, even ceiling panels. I almost refused, but the pay was high, and I needed money again. The parents laughed when I asked about rules. No rules. Just feed her and put her to bed. Their daughter Lily was 6, talkative, smiling, normal. For the first 2 hours, nothing happened. We played, ate snacks, watched cartoons. Then she asked, "Why do you avoid looking at yourself?" My hands froze. "What do you mean?" She pointed at the mirror. "You never look there." I forced a laugh. "Just a habit." She tilted her head. Noah used to. My stomach dropped at 9:13 p.m. The lights flickered just once, then again, then stopped. Lily stopped talking. She stared at the hallway, mirrored. "Do you see her?" She whispered. "See who? The other you standing behind you." I did not turn around. I already knew something was wrong. My reflection moved before I did it, raised its handy, had nodded, smiled. I was terrified. "Run!" Lily shouted. I grabbed her and ran to the bedroom, locked the door, covered the mirror with blanket. My phone rang, a known number. I answered by mistake. My own voice spoke. "Why do you keep running?" I threw the phone away, kept talking from the floor, from the walls, from the mirrors. "You belong with us. We are you. You cannot escape yourself." The bedroom mirror cracked slowly, like something pushing from inside. A hand pressed through glass, bending, not breaking reality. Stretching. Lily cried, "Make it stop." I remembered Noah. His words, "Children see too much. They know things adults forget." I held Lily close and whispered, "Close your eyes. Do not look. Do not believe." She obeyed. I smashed every mirror in the room, chair, lamp, table, glass. Everywhere the screaming stopped. Silence. The parents returned early, found me shaking, surrounded by broken glass. They never called me again. I moved again, far away, new city, new life. No babysitting, no night shifts, no quiet houses. But the reflections followed in shop windows, in car mirrors, in dark screens, always watching, always waiting. Years passed. I got a normal job, office, workday shift, crowded building. No isolation, no silence. I thought I was safe. I almost believed it until one morning I woke up tired, exhausted, like I had not slept. My bed was warm on both sides, but I lived alone. I checked my phone. There were messages sent from my number to unknown contacts. At 3 a.m. Help. Mesh is watching. I am stucky. Had no memory of sending them at work. People stared at me. "Why were you walking in the hallway last night?" Security asked. I was home sleeping. They showed me footage. It was me walking slow, expressionless, eyes empty, at 2:47 a.m. The same time as Noah's call light, same time as Lily's mirror cracked. I felt sick that night. I pretended to sleep, left a camera recording at 2:42 a.m. My body sat up, eyes open, staring at nothing at 2:45. I walked to the bathroom, stopped in front of mirror, and spoke without sound. At 2:47, I smiled, not my smile, something. Older, colder, happier. I watched the video again. And again, I was not alone in my body anymore. Something stayed, something copied me, something learned me from that house, from those mirrors, from those reflections. Never left it, just waited. Now sometimes, when I talk, my voice echoes half-second. Late when I blink, someone else blinks first. When I sleep, I feel myself walking somewhere else. If you are listening to this story right now, and you feel watched, check your reflection. If it smiles when you do not run. I accepted the babysitting job from an online ad. No agency, no contract. Just a message that said, need overnight sitter. 1 child, good pay, quiet house. Reply if interested. I replied within minutes. The address they sent was in a newly built neighborhood. Clean roads, white houses, identical lawns. Everything looked perfect. Almost fake when I arrived. It was already dark, no street noise, no dogs barking, no people outside, just silence. The mother opened the door. She looked tired, dark circles under her eyes. Voice low, thank you for coming. She said the father stood behind her. Smiling too much, their daughter. Emily was sitting on the stairs, hugging a doll, staring at me without blinking. She did not say hello. She did not smile. She just watched. They explained quickly. Bedtime at 10, no sweets, no phone, no tablet. And most important, do not let her go into the basement ever. The mother held my arm and said it. Slowly, promise. May nodded. Promise they left before. 8, no goodbye hug for their daughter, no wave. Just gone. Emily stayed on the stairs. I asked, do you want to watch something? She shook her head. He is watching. She said, who? I asked. The house. She replied. I laughed softly, trying not to show fear. Kids say weird things. We sat in the living room. She colored in her book. I scrolled my phone at 9. I heard water running from the basement. I remembered the warning. Do not let her go there. I asked, is someone downstairs? She shook her head. He wakes up sometimes. My heart skipped. Who wakes up the house? She said again at 9:30. I made her warm milk when I handed it to her. She whispered, do not drink it. Why? Because it forgets things. My hands shook. I almost dropped the cup. I put it in the sink and poured it out. She smiled for the first time at 10. I took her to bed. Her room was small. White walls, 1 window, 1 closet, no toys, except the doll. I tucked her in. She grabbed my sleeve. If I talk in my sleep, do not answer me. Why? Because it will learn you. That sentence stayed in my head after she slept. I went downstairs. I locked the doors, checked windows. Everything normal at 11:30. My phone lost signal, no bars, Wi-Fi disconnected. I was alone completely, and I heard Ida low, humming from below, from the basement, like someone singing. Without words, I stood up, told myself I would not go, but my feet moved anyway, step by step toward the basement door. The door was slightly open, darkness inside. The humming stopped. Something whispered, come closer. In my voice, I slammed the door shut and ran back to the couch. My heart felt like it would explode at midnight. Emily screamed. I ran upstairs. She was sitting upright, eyes open, not blinking. She said in a deep voice, it knows your name. Now I stood beside her bed, frozen, staring at her eyes. They were open but empty, like she was looking through me. Emily, I whispered. She did not move. Her mouth opened slowly, and another voice came out, not hers, mine. Perfect copy. You should have stayed upstairs. I stepped back. She collapsed onto the pillow, breathing normally again. I shook her gently. She woke up confused. Why are you scared? She asked. I did not answer. I carried her to the living room and sat with her on the couch. I turned on every light, every lamp, every screen. No shadows allowed. At 1 a.m., the basement door opened by itself. Slow, silent, cold air poured out, the temperature dropped instantly. Emily grabbed my hand. "It is hungry." She whispered. For what? For people who listen. The humming returned louder. Now it filled the house walls, vibrated, pictures shook. Television turned on static. Then faces appeared, dozens, hundreds, all staring, all crying, all whispering my name. I covered Emily's ears. "Stop listening." I told her. She closed her eyes. The humming grew angry. The lights burst one by one. Pop, pop, pop. Darkness, only moonlight from the window then. Footsteps, heavy, slow, coming up from the basement. Each step sounded wet, like stepping on flesh. I grabbed a lamp and held it like a weapon. The thing emerged. It had no clear shape, just moving shadows with eyes floating inside, all looking at me. It spoke in many voices. "Stay, we will keep you." Emily screamed. "No," she pointed at the thing. "You cannot have her." The shadows hesitated. "Why not?" Because she did not listen. Emily shouted. She did not answer. She did not drink. She did not come. The house shook violently. Cracks appeared on walls. Ceilings started falling. The thing screamed, a sound that broke glass. I ran with Emily to the front door, unlocked, pushed it, opened. Outside was normal street lights, cars, life. We ran barefoot, crying, until neighbors saw us and called police. The house was investigated. They said nothing was wrong. No basement issues, no gas, no mold, nothing. The parents were missing, never found. Emily went to live with her aunt. I never babysat again, but sometimes when I am alone at night and I hear humming from nowhere, no, it still remembers my name.